The first video we're going to show is going to be a collaboration of the Kirlian videos. Now, not too many people have been able to do Kirlian videos. It's usually just Kirlian photography, which we just put into a video, basically. But let me know when you're ready to film. And are you ready to?
Without one, we'll get a smaller stand so that we can just have it. Okay. Want to start?
Do you have the Kirlian video pulled up?
Ready to roll.
Okay, let's roll it.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you want to kill the lights or lights okay?
Yeah, pause it. Let's kill the lights so we can. Yeah. This is neurofusion. Look at it. It almost looks like the brain neural pathways. Look how it's lighting up. This right here is going to be biotin, which is a plant-based biotin, by the way. It's not synthetic. We use plant-based minerals. This is ginseng. Look at the little happy face in there.
Wow.
Like. This is our vitamin C, plant-based. This is crazy right here. This is Paratrex. Look at that. Almost looks like it's killing a bunch of parasites. This is a Tulsi. Zinc. Iron. Look at the iron light up. It almost looks like red blood cells in there for iron. See that?
Yep.
Moringa. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at this. It's almost like fireworks. That's the mycozil. You see how the Paratrex and the mycozil just light up? Mycozil is more for fungus and mold, so you could kind of see that.
Vitamin C? No, elderberry.
That's elderberry. Pause that. So this is the ultimate cellular health, which is misspelled up there, but but the ultimate cellular health is designed to it's all about energy. It's about ATP. The reason why we developed it is to regenerate the cells. And that's what, actually, believe it or not, a lot of people are using the cellular health and have had incredible results with post-COVID and even with the shot because it's got the nicotinic components in it. And it's really designed to work with repairing and energizing the DNA. And we don't know why it's working so good. I mean, nobody knows why anything's working because no one really understands even what's going on with all this different stuff that's happening within the cells.
Guys, I would love for y'all to get some photography of vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, iron from Walmart or GNC or CVS and do the photos of yours versus the photos of those cheap products.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
Well, the reason why we haven't really been doing that too much yet is because we don't have an algorithm, repeatable algorithm, completely set in stone yet. Glenn's a scientist. He's a PhD scientist.
Right.
He wants to replicate, the results and be very scientific because
Beautiful.
He wants to be able to write up the reports. And we're still working on finalizing those last pieces, but we have done images. We'll show you some images of some of the competitors' products out there that we've taken, so you can see the breaks and the auras and the.
Because again, vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, those are amazing products. But if the quality is not there, it's nothing.
Well, remember that these are living vitamin D and zinc that we're using here. The synthetic ones are completely different. Now, minerals, even though they're synthetic, they do actually have a little bit of a charge to them.
Right.
But they're not a complete charge. Now, this is now what do you want happening inside your cells? This is what you want your cells to look like.
Activate
White
it.
light.
Yes.
So our ultimate cellular health, that's what it looks like under the videography.
Because
okay?
the body's electric, plain and simple.
Body's electric. Okay, go ahead. This is going to be their turmeric. Look at that. Just. This is your D3 right here, the plant-based D3 from lichen. Did you see the sun? Go back to D3.
Yes.
So what is what is D3 for? Right? Look at that. It looks like the sun, right?
Yes,
you almost
it does.
you have another circle inside of it.
Wow.
This is your vein health. Looks like little veins everywhere. See that kind of? Prostate health formula. Pause this one. Okay, this is going to be your oxy powder right here. This is, look at, doesn't it look like Tesla's coil?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Coil?
Beautiful.
That's oxy powder right there. Tesla's energy coming out. Look at that. It looks just like a Tesla coil.
Lighting everything up.
Okay. Look at that. Acid reflux relief product that we have. Pause that. Go back a little bit. This is our ultimate probiotics. What are probiotics? They're living organisms, right? You can see. What's really interesting about this is you have the center part, which is almost, we don't know, but it's the white, and then we have the shade of purple around the white, which is like your crown chakra, which is like really God's color. If you want to say God's, of course, white, which is all the colors of the spectrum, but then you have it fading into the blue. And you can see it almost looks like a little microbiome, huh? Like you can see how around the outside of it. That's the ultimate probiotic right there. Now aloe, pause that. Now aloe is one of my favorite. Aloe is so powerful. Healing the gut, reducing inflammation as an immune modulator. Aloe used to be really popular 10 or 15 years ago. Everybody was taking aloe, and it's kind of fallen off for some reason, just because it's kind of got drowned out by so many other nutraceuticals. But going back to the basics, even when they found, the ancient civilizations, Mayan cultures, even ancient Egyptians, they would always in the pyramids and in the base, containers or where they went, they would always find cannabis, honey. They would always find honey. They would always find aloe. They would always find tobacco. So aloe is really like a staple product. And the aloe that we use is a bi-aloe living aloe. It's a certified organic. It's a proprietary process. We don't do it ourselves, but we get it from a company that's specialized in aloe for years and years, and it's a certified organic inner leaf aloe. Everybody, I think, you asked me what my favorite product was. I mean, aloe is incredible at just helping heal the gut. For gut health, we use oxy powder, we use aloe, and we use the three main components for gut health: aloe, ultimate probiotics, and oxy powder. But look at that. I mean, it's just beautiful. Aloe is just a beautiful image. Selenium is super important. Most people are deficient in selenium. Great for thyroid. This is the women's health balance. Look at it, looks like little ovaries in there. This is the lateroflora, which is another probiotic. It's a spore-forming. Maybe it's because of the spore-forming bacteria that are in there that's causing that little line through the middle. I'm not really sure why that. But you saw in the other probiotic, it looked the same. It had that line. This is liver health right here. Androtrex. This is the male health formula to increase testosterone and DHEA and hormones in males. Look at the lithium orotate. This is a lithium orotate. It's a plant-based lithium. And, well, it's lithium from plants, which is bound to an orotate molecule. This is like I'm a veteran, and I have a soft spot in my heart for veterans. Anybody, for that matter. This single-handedly, if all the veterans could have had a supply of lithium orotate, it single-handedly would have reduced the suicide rate to basically nothing.
Wow.
This is incredible for PTSD and balancing out any type of stress, anxiety, depression. We need lithium. This is not the lithium carbonate that Big Pharma uses. This is the plant-based lithium bound to an orotate, which Dr. Hans Nieper in Germany, the mineral king of all time, mineral researcher, developed by bonding it to orotic acid. But again, it kind of looks like the brain a little bit, and it's so powerful at really stabilizing your thoughts and the neurogenesis factor inside your body. This is our ormus. Go back and rewind that a little bit. So our proprietary ormus blend to enhance the vibration of all of our supplements. This is what it looks like. Very interesting, because when you look at ormus, it's orbitally rearranged molecular elements. See how the orbit there? Yep. Almost like the little element going around the orbit there. So this is what we use in all of our formulas to just enhance everything, the energetics of whatever we're giving to anybody.
What is that?
This is our beetroot. Now, you've heard a lot about how beneficial beetroot is, especially for, it looks like veins, cardiovascular, but also electricity. Beetroot is incredibly powerful at providing so many different therapeutic benefits to the body. We looked to find whatever, we tested multiple different types of beetroot extractions and powders. And this one was the one that we ended up choosing to go with. Now, this is not a global healing product. This is an Earth Harmony product that we put together because of the demand out there for beetroot. But we might transition to a beetroot juice freeze-dried powder, which if you can do the juice freeze-dried powders are way more concentrated. Because you can take 100 pounds of beets and juice them down to a tiny amount of juice, and then you freeze-dry the juice, so you're really concentrating everything into that. But pretty amazing what that looks like right there, and the power and the energy of the beetroot. That's the enzymes. That's the vegan enzyme formula that we have. Now, our enzyme formula is a systemic enzyme, and it's a digestive enzyme. So we have the only enzyme product in the world, by the way, that contains glucose oxidase. And I found that glucose oxidase, when I was talking to a doctor that was using it to treat cancer patients back in the late 90s, Didn't even know glucose oxidase even exists. Glucose oxidase is the enzyme that bees produce that keeps honey from ever going bad.
Wow.
And if you do the research on glucose oxidase enzyme, glucose oxidase converts glucose into hydrogen peroxide inside the cell.
Wow.
So think about that. Now, I never talk about that. The only way you'll ever find out about that is if you just know about it. We're never talk about it in marketing. Guess what cancer cells feed on? Glucose. Now, if you can convert glucose into hydrogen peroxide inside of a cancer cell, what do you think is going to happen to it?
Dead.
It's going to blow up. It's going to die. So people that are taking veganzyme, they're taking something that's actually helping them, if they do have any, you develop cancer cells every single day and they float in your body. If you're taking veganzyme every single day, you're getting the nattokinase, you're getting the serrapeptase, you're getting the digestive enzymes, and we have the secret ingredient in there, glucose oxidase, which converts the glucose into hydrogen peroxide inside your cell. This is B12, or plant-based, or it's not plant-based B12, but this is the B12 that we have, which is this the one with the methyl adenylyl and the hydroxo? Correct. So most people, when they produce B12, they use cyanocobalamin, which is a cyanide molecule attached to the cobalamin. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, there's three cofactors of that B12 breaks down to in your body. It breaks down into adenylcobalamin, methylcobalamin, and hydroxocobalamin. We combine all three, just in case you might not have the ability to break one down because of your enzymes or whatever's going on in your body. We combine all three of them. We were the first company in the world to come out with a tri-blend of B12 that's certified organic in a glycerospheric type base formula, vegan friendly in the world. So we have all the components here of B12. This is the CoQ10. As you know, heart, CoQ10 is really good for the heart and the brain. It is a powerful carrier or facilitator of oxygen. Behind you can see a little bit of red, which hey, I don't know, maybe that indicates it's good for the heart. Who knows? No one's really been able to analyze these Kirlian photographs to a certain degree because they're all different. They're all different energies, but that's the CoQ10 we use in our BioPQQ CoQ10 formula. This is the iodine. This is the detoxidine. What's really cool about this image, if you stop it, is the aura from the aura.
Wow.
It's got two auras on it. So it's got this outer, which to me signifies the nascent ability, almost like the iodine is gassing off and creating this shield around here. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty interesting to see that aura within an aura. This is your calcium and magnesium. Always calcium and magnesium, if it's a good form, is just going to light up because it's one of the essential minerals that the body needs. Calcium, magnesium.
What about your vitamin K27?
Potassium. Yeah, the K...
I hear different things happen to have K27 before calcium. Is that wrong or right?
Anyone that asks me about that, I say just drink their urine. They're going to get all the...
There you go. Done.
All their K, everything that they need.
Love it.
This is actually our closet. This is actually our calcium and magnesium orotate formula. That's our intracal, correct? Correct. Okay, so we developed a specific blend, 2-to-1 blend of calcium and magnesium, but we use the orotate form. The orotate form is the only known form of minerals that are bonded that go into the mitochondria of the cell. So Dr. Hans Nieper wrote a book called The Curious Man. It's a great book, and he's the one that started bonding because he knew that inorganic minerals were worthless in the body because they just calcify. So when you bond them to certain things, they're not inorganic anymore, so your body can actually absorb them. So he found that the best way to bond or to chelate minerals, whether it's calcium, lithium, potassium, magnesium, was he found that the magnesium aspartate, arginate, amino ethyl phosphate, and orotate were the best forms of minerals. And each one of them goes either to the extracellular fluid, it goes to the inner layer of the cell membrane, the outer layer of the cell membrane, it goes into the mitochondria of the cell, or it goes into the tissue somewhere that it might be needed. So basically, you should have a blend of multiple different types of magnesium depending on where you want that magnesium to go. Or calcium, or potassium, or sodium. We don't really need sodium because you're getting enough of it anyway, but anyway, most people are deficient in potassium, severely deficient in potassium. You need to eat about 15 bananas a day just to get the minimum amount of potassium that you need in your body. So it's highly recommended that you take. I do not have a potassium supplement. We are working on a magnesium supplement that has all those forms of magnesium in it, and a potassium supplement that has all the forms of potassium in it. However, with our new technology that we're rolling out, we're going to be probably the first, we will be the first company in the world that can do a glycerosomal potassium and suspend it in glycerosomes in a concentrated form. Lenny's been working, the last couple months, we've been working on doing a high-dose vitamin C. Instead of liposomal, we're doing a high-dose vitamin C glycerosomal, which comes in a 4-ounce bottle. It's almost like a syrup, but 1 tablespoon has 5,000 milligrams of glycerosomal vitamin C. There's nothing out there anywhere in the market that can provide that level of quality of C. People have been asking for it for a while. Almost like an elderberry syrup, kind of, but like a vitamin C syrup. And we could do that with all kinds of different minerals. This is quercetin. This is a plant-based quercetin, a quercetin phytosome. Look at that. Isn't that interesting there? If you go back, the quercetin, it's almost like its own little world, the molecule. This is a kidney health formula. Wow, look at this. This is the copper one. You want to talk about the copper one because you had a chance to talk to Charlie about it in more detail.
So when I spoke to the creator of the CU1, they actually created it for
Lyme disease, right?
disease. Yeah, it started out as Lyme disease, and
you can kind of see like what looks like spirochetes in there too. It's kind of weird.
And the cool factor about this is the CU is bound to nicotinic acid, which we all know that there's been a lot of research lately going on about the nicotine. So really cool stuff. The CU1. You can absorb it. It's not like regular copper where it's just going to build up in your system. But the CU1 is, it was pretty amazing, the whole story that he went through. And we literally did some blood work right there in his lab where he took blood from 2 of our previous employees, tested it, showed different types of cells that were mutated, then added the CU1. And over a period of time, I'm not even sure how long it was, maybe 15, 20 minutes, those cells were back into shape.
Wow.
Completely amazing. first, he's a character, was a character. I wasn't sure where he was going with everything, but after seeing the proof, is irrefutable.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, so the difference between a 1 and a 2 is an inorganic versus an organic active living form. So you have copper in the copper 2 form, which is an inorganic form in the soil, right, or in water. And in most supplements, that's what they're using. They're using copper 2. What happens is, take celery, for example. Celery is very high in copper 1. Not nearly as high as this, but it does have copper 1 in it. The plant will take the copper 2 into, and any mineral for that matter, most minerals are in the 2 form, Mg2 for magnesium or whatever. What happens is those are all inorganic minerals. As the plant takes them up, the plant converts them to living minerals, organic minerals. So it will convert the copper 2 into a copper 1. Now, if you juice celery juice all day long, you're going to have amazing effects. What the medical medium didn't really talk about when he talked about people drinking celery juice is, I think, the main reason why they were getting better with celery juice is because they were taking in copper 1. What is copper 1 necessary for? Most people are deficient in copper. They can't get copper 1 because their body can't break the copper 2 down because they don't have enough hydrochloric acid in their stomach. But that you need copper 1 for your Krebs cycle. If your Krebs cycle is a cycle in your system that your cells produce energy, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. In order to produce adenosine triphosphate, the main component is copper 1. That's why nobody has any energy anymore. Everybody's all fatigued and not doing anything because they're deficient in copper. But you don't want to give people copper 2. You want to give people copper 1. And so this is an extremely expensive ingredient, by the way. This costs $25,000 for a kilogram.
Wow.
$25,000 a kilogram we pay for this. But this is so powerful to be on. It's been on our recovery and wellness program since the beginning because copper 1 is a very active, it's reactive, like iodine is. So it seeks out things. I think there's something happening with the copper 1 disabling the nanotechnology that they're infesting us with. And there's definitely what we've seen, right, with people that have had an injection or people that are suffering from long COVID are severe zinc and copper deficiencies. So this is also going to potentially alter these spike protein manufacturing facilities that are going on through the parasites in our body and through our normal cells in our body. And copper in itself is a very powerful antimicrobial, and that we might want to discuss as being part of the Stu Peters Parapack.
Love it.
Yeah, so isn't that beautiful? It does kind of have a little bit of, turn the light off, it does kind of have a little bit, go back and rewind that again. Look, it does kind of have even a little bit of a copper tint to it. Look at that. Look at that. Just amazing. When you can see the life force of this stuff happening live, it's just, and capture that, it's incredible. This is the supercharged C60. This is not a standard C60. This is the supercharged C60. And this is carbon. This is the basic carbon nano onion technology that we partnered with the manufacturer, which is a U.S. manufacturer in Florida. Most of the C60 that you're getting out there is just one molecule of C60, which is a fullerene. When you get 10 milligrams of ours, you're getting 5 million times more C60 molecules than you are with any standard C60.
Wow.
Supercharged. That's why we call it supercharged C60, because it's different than the standard C60 you're going to find on the market.
And just looking at one cluster, all those little circular objects.
They're all emitting light. So those are like, each one of those like stars. So each one of those is a carbon nano onion that's emitting light. And there's millions of them.
That's one of my favorite pictures.
Go back and rewind that. Let's see that again. Look at that.
That's beautiful. You can
beautiful.
almost see, like, you can see like it energetically firing from left to right. note that it's 1111, Christopher, if you want to know how important Super C60
Look
is.
at that right there, 1111. Right, the supercharged C60 is what you need, buddy. All right, so that's going to be the Kirlian photography of the all of our, well, not all of our products. You know, we're continually doing research on this and continually improving everything. And do you have some images by chance of some of the other competitor products that we've
looking? I think
done, or do you have images of the electron microscope of the glycerisomal technology, the acoustic glycerisomal technology, the AGT technology?
let me see.
While he's looking for that, real quick, can you just explain to us the photography that we were just looking at? How do you guys do that? Are you guys arcing electricity off of a plate? Are you guys taking the supplement, putting it on a slide, and looking at it under a very powerful microscope that's taking that image?
Yes. Well, I'll let Lenny explain that because he works directly with Dr. Ryan on that. So he'll be able to give you a better understanding of how we're doing that and what type of machines that we're using.
Yeah, so we are using high voltage to make an arc. What we do is, it took a long time to figure out how to actually do it. Vidal and I spent many days working on it, but we took some of the finished product, spread it out across the electrical plate, and then hit it with high voltage.
Wow.
Now that's all cool, but trying to capture the photo was the hard part. So after messing around with the aperture for days on end and times and lighting, we finally got our first picture. And once we got that first picture, we just kind of kept tuning it until we could get some of the detail. Once we got the detail, we went through our whole product catalog and captured every one of them.
Wow.
It's funny, we were talking about the crystal, only a few people holding it, only a few people have seen these pictures.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I mean,
So tell them about all the different types of Kirlian technology and devices we tested, because Glenn actually has been doing this his whole life, and he knew people from Russia and Germany and all this, and we either had special machines built and sent to us, or we even sent samples out to these high-tech laboratories and stuff like that to have samples done to determine what Kirlian device out there in the world is the best one for us to bring in and use.
Yeah, so we did send it out to two different people. They have well over 30 years each in Kirlian photography. They go all the way back to what was it with the leaf where it's missing the piece?
The original leaf.
Yeah.
These are the original inventors and scientists that have been working on Kirlian for forever.
And they can still see the genetic energy of where the piece of the leaf used to be. You could see the lack of the leaf or the cutout part.
Exactly.
You can still see the energy because it's still, there's that memory that was there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So these are some of the scientists that took those pictures. Unfortunately, they kind of stayed with what they knew, mostly black and white. You could see, they could capture some of the images, but not in as much detail as we were getting here. And then we had another unit built for us where we could change the frequency, change the voltage, and do different things to just try and test it out to get the best picture that we could possibly get, because at some point these will probably end up on our website. We did finally come to the conclusion that the original unit that we purchased was the unit that we wanted to use, and we got these beautiful pictures out of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Liddell, do you have any comments you'd like to add to all the processes that you guys went through with the Kirlian?
No, it took a while to figure out. It was a lot of playing with the frequencies, ISO, the timing, the shutter speed. And it was a lot of test, try and run until we pretty much honed it down to what you guys see right now.
Beautiful.
And we literally went out and bought a $20,000 camera to see if we could get even better images. And in the end, the inexpensive camera that we had here in-house worked the best.
Really?
But we tried several things to make sure that we could capture as much detail as possible and get the clearest picture.
And I think for me, the greatest part of this is that even though you see similarities in some pictures, when you really analyze the pictures,
All
there's
different.
not a single picture that's the same.
Nope.
And we originally thought going into this, going in blindly, our thought process was, man, I hope they don't all look the same because that's not going to prove anything, right? And once we started taking these pictures and looking at the products, and each one had its own digital signature, was amazing to see.
Yes.
It was like, wow, that really proves something to us. So,
Beautiful.
And then can you explain some of
Yeah.
the other technology that we're using to measure the frequencies of everything, like some of the devices that Glenn's used and
Yeah.
some of the methodologies?
So the other two units that Glenn typically uses are for testing for electrochemical impedance. So it's basically the conductivity of the object that you're trying to test. He's got two different solutions. One's called a gamma unit. I forget the other unit's name. That's a little more Glenn's area, but we tried several different things to make sure that, one, we have these great Kirlian photography pictures. I mean, these are awesome, but they're not that scientific. So what we wanted to be able to do is show these great pictures and also have science behind it. So that's where Glenn comes in with these measuring devices to be able to look at the energy value of specific products.
Is there a restroom up here?
And we tested ours. We
Gracias.
tested competitors. We tested ours after infusing different frequencies back into it, and you can see variations throughout. There were some products out there, like you mentioned, I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but other products out there that are inferior that you could literally just see, like, oh yeah, no
Trash.
this is crap. And then there were other products out there that I don't like to say that we have competitors. I think that we do things so over the top that
Right.
you can't really compete with that. But the next closest to us, you could see similarities in what they were doing, but you could also still see the gaps.
Right.
So you can definitely see different degrees in the energetic value, the way that Glenn measures them, and also the Kirlian photography. And when you can put those two things together and explain that story to people, I think it becomes more realistic.
Love it.
Some people love the science, some people love, the pictures. You put them both together and nobody can refute it.
Nope.